the law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, balls in my heart, my city and a map. I was in the field, you sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Settle it. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down on the ground, now I'm up for the fight. I'm on it. Seaside at the dark, now it's into the light. Alpha mode, down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Done dirt, but my crep stay clean. Send for me, view, boy, I am me. Look at my tank with the verses. Clean sheet in him, and I'm on the verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the purses. Death match and their family in hearses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Stay out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
A new era is close to getting underway. The Spanish influence, as you can see, is already there with Hugo Bueno amongst those who will be keen to impress, knowing that a new head coach is on his way. It's Wolves against Brighton this afternoon. This is Matchday Live Extra. I'm Mikey Burrows, joined as ever by the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson and future Hall of Famer Lee Naylor alongside us. We have lots to discuss, of course, because you might have seen there's been a pretty big announcement that's been made by the club today. We will talk about that. We'll be joined by the Express and Star's Nathan Judah very shortly to get a little bit of a flavour of the fans' views, because he's been out talking to supporters coming to Molineux here today. You can let us know your thoughts. Use the hashtag Wolves Live on Twitter, at Wolves, at Mikey Burrows, to have your say. And we'll also be talking to the Spanish football expert Guillem Balaguer very shortly as well to get the inside scoop on Julen Lopetegui, the new man who's going to be in charge. He's going to arrive after this next week and then take some time over the World Cup period to get his plans in place, ready to go for that Everton game on Boxing Day. Tomo, I guess your immediate reaction when you woke up this morning, I know you were probably up earlier, a lot earlier than 9. You old uns like to be up at the crack of dawn. What did you make of it all?
After I got up early, no, I was surprised because of the announcement last week that Davis was going to be put in charge until the new year. But I think there are a lot of people who will be happy about the appointment and about having a manager in place, because I think just the longer you don't put a manager in place, I think you just want that stability around the team and around the club. And that's what people wanted to know, and where the manager was going to come from next. I know they've been after him for a few weeks. I know it's come out saying that he was the number one choice on their list from a few years back as well. So, look, it'd be interesting to see. So, look, a Spanish manager coming in after we've had 2 Portuguese managers. So it'd be interesting how he adapts to English football and the players that are here.
This is clearly a man, and I say we'll talk to Guillem Balaguer and get the inside scoop on Lopetegui, but clearly a man, Lee Naylor, that identified many years ago and identified a couple of weeks ago as being their prime target. It's obviously not been the smoothest of paths to getting him, but now they've finally got him, and clearly they want to build this club around him now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they went after him first. He was the number one target. I think, there was a few obstacles in the way to go on getting him. They've got him now, and I think it's really important for the football club to have that focal point, to have that man at the top to answer, who can answer all the questions, who can give an insight to players and what he wants, a direction. They've got him, so we'll see what happens.
What kind of a job is he walking into, Tomo?
I think with the circumstances that we're in, near the bottom, I think a bit of a clean sheet. So I think that the players that he's coming into are quality, and we've said this from before. We've said about the squad this year that we thought it was probably the strongest squad we've had. Unfortunately, we haven't had the results, but I just think that he'll come in, as every manager says, it's a clean slate for everybody. But I just think the way and where we are at the moment, I just think that the only thing he can do is basically for us to go upwards. Hopefully, with him coming in with his experience, we've been involved in big, massive clubs, his national team as well. So I just think that he'll come in, clean slate with everything, and I think that not massive pressure on him, but there's pressure to get him to get results. But I just think he'll be happy with the squad that he's got when he comes in.
Nathan Tudor of the Express and Star will be joining us. We'll bring him in whilst Lee Naylor answers this, because there he is, Nathan. In fact, I'll just come to you straight away, Nathan. I know you've been out speaking to the fans. What are they making of it?
Yeah, once bitten, twice shy, third time lucky, I guess. It's party time. They're delighted. I would say, like, the main, if I could say one word that they kind of talking about, it's just relief. It's relief because this has been going on for a long time now. The manager search, and they've basically been in no man's land. And to get their first choice over the line eventually, they're just very, very happy because, judging by the performances and what's been going on in the league, a lot of people were very pessimistic on how this season was going to turn out. And relegation was definitely an option that I think a lot of people looked at, and they thought, we could see Wolves going into the Championship this year if things didn't change. Things have changed. They've got their main man, and like I say, relief from them. They think they're going to stay up. They think that Lopetegui can at least lead them into mid-table. And I think Lee mentioned it as well. Direction. They've got a direction now, and the players, the club. There's been a lack of identity on the pitch recently, and I think for the fans as well. And they can get behind Lopetegui now. They can get behind a manager. They can get behind a direction, and they're just so happy that it's happened. And I'm sure you guys will talk about it as well coming up. He's got this 6-week break now to work with the squad, to work with the team, to get used to the club. And this World Cup break could not have come any better. So a real sense of optimism.
Do you get a sense, Nathan, that it's changed the mood a little bit ahead of today's game and how the atmosphere might be inside this stadium?
The atmosphere's been a little bit blue recently, let's be honest. And I think that everyone now, they were bouncing, there were smiles walking into the stadium today. And I really think that it's going to be loud. You can see some Lopetegui chants. I'm not quite sure how we can get Lopetegui. There's a few too many syllables there for a chant that I would work out. I'm sure they'll find it. I'm sure they'll get it going around the ground. And yeah, real sense of optimism in a very tough game against Brighton, where they haven't got a great record against them. But yeah, I think that it's the fans haven't had a lot to cheer about recently, and not just in the last 2 or 3 games, in the last 2 or 3 years. And they want a manager to get them back to those special nights. I can remember. We all remember. We were all there when Diogo Jota scored again. Behind the South Bank against Manchester United. Those are the roars that you want. That's the kind of volume that you want to see. And I think someone like Lopetegui will be able to bring this back and make it special. And of course, they're delighted because it's such a high-profile appointment. This is as high-profile appointment as Wolves have ever announced. So that comes, of course, expectation comes with that. But yeah, they're really excited. I think they're going to make Molineux an absolute bouncing today if they get the win.
Nathan, really appreciate your time. I know you're very busy at this point on the match day. Thank you very much for joining us, Nathan Tudor of the Express and Star. Lee Naylor, Nathan mentions there the high-profile nature of the name. Now, that doesn't always transpire into being a success, but how much of a message do you think it sends, not just to potential recruits, but also to the players who are here, who are maybe thinking about their futures at the club, that someone like Lopetegui is coming in?
Yeah, I mean, when you've got someone of that stature coming in, it rings out to the players, and I think they need to know. They know now that they need to pull the socks up and go, right. Yeah, I need to perform every week, otherwise there's going to be changes.
It's going to be fascinating. As I say, we will get some of your reaction as well. Keith says, great news. We have our man at last. Onwards and upwards. Bet Molyneux will be buzzing today. See Steve off with a win, boys. Paul says, get Lee Naylor a blanket. He looks freezing.
He is. He said when he come in, he was freezing.
That's what happens when you go to an 18s game beforehand.
We will try and sort that out in a couple of minutes' time. And Guillaume Balaguer joining us here on Wolves TV's Matchday Live Extra. But in the meantime, let's look back at the most recent victory the Wolves have had over today's opponents, Brighton. And here comes Mwepu onto Solly March, right inside of the penalty area, and he smashes it wide. Now for Neves. Neves might line up one from distance. Good effort. Well saved, though, by Sanchez, who parried it down and grabbed it at the second attempt. Marçal whipping it low to the near post. Comes to the edge of the area. Neves with one touch. Tries to lift it back in. Lovely stuff. Oh, what a goal! Stunning finish from Romain Saiz. And Wolves are in front in stoppage time at the end of the first period. And it is a world-class pass from Ruben Neves that clipped it into him, and Romain Saiz kept his cool, kept his composure, and found the bottom corner. Moda's delivery from the free kick, it's bouncing awkwardly. Oh, great save by Jose Sarr, and missed from close range, point blank. Traore waits in the box, it's clipped in brilliantly. Here's Marçal, and he loops it goalwards, it's off the crossbar. Now can Traore use his speed? Just being held up a touch, Trincao making the run ahead of him. It's on for Trincao into the penalty area. Oh, wide of the left-hand post. There was a touch on it on the way through. Left-footed cross hits Basuma, comes out to Neves. That's a lovely ball in by Neves, just off the head of Bird. Smashed goalwards and somehow cleared away from the hit by Romain Saiz. Dispossessed by Matinho. Trincao off the chest. Here's Matinho. Wolves have options forwards. It's Daniel Pedence into the area. Pedence on his left foot. Good save by Sanchez. And there's a Brighton player slipped, and Wolves have 3-on-1. It's Traore to Pedence to his right. Pedence into the area, striking it low and striking it straight at Sanchez. Neves finding Traore 25 yards from goal. Good ball to Semedo into the area. Semedo's low ball. No one there to tap it home.
Wolverhampton is a proud and diverse city. Proud of its history and proud of its people. When times are tough and life is challenging, Wolverhampton stands together. At Wolves Foundation, we are the heartbeat of the community. We support thousands of people across the city of all ages and abilities. Half of the people we work with are from areas among the most deprived 10% in the country. We encourage people to become healthier and more active. 92% of our participants have improved their mental and physical well-being. We develop lifelong learning and skills. 90% of our participants have improved their educational achievement. We work hard to build safe, strong, and active communities. 84% of our participants feel they have contributed to a safer, stronger, and more inclusive community. Football is such a powerful sport, which brings us together and drives us forward. At Wolves Foundation, we are proud of our work and proud of our impact. Creating opportunities and changing lives.
He's aware that 1 in 8,333 make the cut, and so he's thinking about scoring while he's lacing up. He made sure he ate good and got his 8 hours in. The gaffer told him just focus, and you'll do nothing but win. And even though the things on Snap kept on buzzing down his phone, he had a little peek, he swiped right, but he made sure he left them alone. It's no distractions, I've gotta keep that hunger and focus. Check my kickback twice, and remove that chip off my shoulders. Can't be late, I'm trying to be the first one to the ground. Headphones in, I'm vibing, bucking, listening to SR and Pounds, thinking it's nerves. But then I think, some of these man just talk enough. Take it easy, and don't go too intense on the warm-up. Man like Kai, quick firms, but you know he's gonna be marking me. I can't get caught flat-footed, and he knows just how sharp I'll be. Match scenario, 1 inch of space, and then I'm in there. Quick 1, 2, boom, first goal, that's me. Get in there, but calm down. I gotta keep myself composed, and I can't get too gassed, because it wasn't the cleanest of goals. I need another. To go first team, I have to make a statement. Remember, talent can only take you so far. It's the hard work that sticks out blatant. You know Ryan's got a ping on him, so when he gets it, you're gone. Fake coming short for the ball, then drop the shoulder, race on. Are you a speedy one, bro? Is the defender kinda slow? And if so, it's all about that first touch towards the goal. Because if it's dead, then you're given time to make up the ground. And if it's good, you hit the back of the net, make that beautiful sound. The gaffer's watching, he's making notes, and then you see his assistant walk up. He tells you that they're impressed, and that you've earned yourself a call up. Then he says, wait, before you even think about making the team, make sure you go home and get those dirty bits clean. Man, this is nuts, I'm shaking. Wait till I tell my mum and the bros. I'm gassed, I've been grafting for this, but still kinda mad I've been chose. Crazy, anticipation. Use all the emotions to feed desire and fuel performance. Tell your boys you're locked tough, and tomorrow's game is enormous. Match day, you're in the tunnel. Put yourself at the back of the line. Close your eyes for a second. When you open them again, it's your time. Wolves, next gen.
Reaper and Next Gen, and Next Gen supporting Wolves Academy. There's a couple of Wolves Academy boys on the bench today. We'll talk about a little bit later on. Talk more about Julen Lopetegui in just a second. But of course, there was a new contract this week for Hugo Bueno, who's made such an impact in his little role coming through. Tomo, first of all, to you on that, especially what a time, really, to get a new contract, to be in the first team with a new coach coming in. The world is his oyster for Hugo Bueno at the minute.
Yeah, and also as well, a Spanish manager coming in as well, so he's going to be happy with that as well. But look, the games that he's come in, he's done really well. I'm not going to say that he's fitted in really nice as such, but he's looked very comfortable at times in the way that he's played. But what I've liked about him, he's tried to drive himself forward. He's defended well as well, and we can remember the ball in for Crystal Palace as well. So look, he's come in and he's done himself proud in the way that he's played and the way that he's gone about his business on the pitch. And that's all he's got to do. He wanted a chance, he's been given a chance, and he's took the opportunity with both hands. And again, he's keeping Nuri out because of the way that he's played, and he's done really well.
Hugo Bueno, one of a number of players who will be wanting to impress our new head coach, and lovely to have more of a Spanish influence after the Portuguese influence we've had for a number of years. Let's talk to a man who is the go-to person when it comes to Spanish football. Delighted to welcome again to Matchday Live Extra our friend Guillaume Balaguer. How are you, Guillaume?
Good afternoon. It looks really cold wherever you are.
It is.
We haven't got the budget for the shirts that you have, my friend. It's always incredible whenever you come on and speak to us. You are very much a man in demand at the moment because you know Julen better than most, and it's a big capture for our football club, we're hoping, Guillaume.
Yeah, let me say first. So I think you should call him properly Julen Lopetegui. Julen Lopetegui. So before he even arrives, you'll all be masters of his name, which is a good thing. A name is very, very important. It's very important to get it right as well. But in any case, it's an exciting times in the Midlands for me, particularly because all of a sudden I've got three coaches I follow very, very closely in three massive clubs, and the three of them starting their time there. So I cannot wait for the first dinner of the four of us at some point after Christmas and after the World Cup to see how their experiences are going, because I insist, and this is something that the three of them have said, Unai Emery and Julen and of course Carlos Corberán, that they are embarking into a big project in massive clubs. So very much looking forward to all of that.
Guillaume, like many, I follow you on social media, and I was reading some of your posts in the last couple of days where you were talking about Julen's specific interest in this Wolves job and the project that comes with it. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, it all starts, he's now very famous, but it all starts when, before he joined the national side, they negotiated his agent, Carlos Bucero, negotiated for 10 days with Wolves when you were in the Championship, and he was very excited about the idea. I remember talking to him and checking on his English, and he was already working at it, and he thought. He does this thing, and imagine most managers do, of asking people around what am I going to find, what is important to bring in, what's important for the first press conference, what is the things to say, what things not to say, and we were conversing on that, and then the national side came out of the blue, and he had to apologise, but finish the conversations and join Spain. Just before anybody thinks, yeah, but he failed with the Spain, you must know that he had one of the best qualifying runs in the history of Spain. It's just that having signed for Real Madrid just before the Russian World Cup, the federation, not very wisely, decided to get rid of him. So it wasn't so much a failure on his part. But anyway, especially from the moment that he confirmed at Sevilla everything we knew, and that we've seen at Porto, etc., that he was a manager of process, that improves players, that has got a elite mentality and winning mentality, and that made Sevilla not only qualify for the Champions League 3 years in a row, but also win the Europa League. Then Wolves knocked the door again and says, we're here, and that was never far from his mind. But in the last 2 months, since he left Sevilla, he's had offers from, that I know of, 3 Premier League clubs. In the last 10 days or so, it was about 2. And I'm not surprised that he eventually chose Wolves, because the way he described what he has analysed already, having a squad that it's good, but it can be better. There's a potential for growth, no doubt. Plus, with what he wants to implement in the team, he already has a lot of players for it. So he's not going to have to mold the squad to him. The squad is already ready for what he wants to bring. Then he thinks Wolves is the best place. And also, I feel that Carlos Bucero, his agent, who's close to Jorge Mendes, and the setup at Wolves, basically Lopetegui goes to a place where he knows a lot about. In the other cases, it would have been a little bit more an unknown quantity. So a lot of reasons for it. The timing wasn't right when he left Sevilla. Now he's recovered energy, so has his coaching staff, who spent a lot of time in Sevilla. Who wouldn't, if you could. And now with his personal situation as well, with his dad, one of those unresolved situations, but there cannot be done much about it. He feels that is the right time to focus at work and at a club that has wanted him. So important. By the way, let me add, I read somewhere that it was him, Julen, ringing Wolves saying, "Hello, I'm here. Do you still want me?" That's not how it went. That's not how it went. The insistence of Wolves has been so huge, amazing, constant, detailed. The love towards him has been proven to be very, very convincing.
I'd like to say he's been a manager of some big clubs and international as well. What kind of strengths is he going to bring to the Wolves then? The players that he's got here.
This is a modern manager. I used to say that Sevilla were the most Premier League club in Spain, and that is to say that when they went into Europe, they weren't easily beaten either, because they are high tempo, they are physical, they pressure high, they like to build from the back, but they've got the ability to change what's required depending on the game. Game management is very, very good. Midfielders that are strong, but they have got ability in the feet, a lot of pace up front, a lot of things that really, really worked until it stopped working, because the wrong signings were done, and Sevilla had to sell players, and eventually the squad, as you can see, struggling with Sampaoli as well. So he will be doing the same kind of thing in the place in the home of that kind of football, and that's the kind of football that helps you succeed, as I say, both in Europe and domestically. So expect centre backs that can build from the back. Expect a lot of tactical work being put in how the side displays itself. Expect a lot of energy and a lot of constant energy. What I think he was going to find is one thing is to apply constant energy in Spain, which you can take a breather once or twice, and the constant energy you need in England, where you cannot take a breather, even a half-time. So that's going to be an interesting process of adaptation for himself.
Yeah, they say he's worked with Neves before at Porto, where they give him his debut. How important do you think he's going to be for him here at the club?
Well, I think give it a few weeks, but Wolves won't be just about give the ball to Neves, see if he can shoot from outside the box and score. But he will be deployed in. He's a very, very good player, isn't he? Not surprisingly, followed by European clubs. Barcelona would love to have him, but they don't have the money for it. So that is what I mean when Julen has looked at the squad and he thinks there are players there that can be better, and they can be better and different if you add layers of understanding of what he wants and in a way of training that they are used to, because it's not that dissimilar. The Portuguese and the Spanish school of training and coaching is not that dissimilar. To have all those players there are going to help. His English is very good. No problem with him directing in English or in Portuguese or in Spanish. Some of the coaching staff will have to improve on the English, but I think that part of the world you can survive with Spanish and Portuguese at the moment. So they'll have to improve on the English, obviously, but on that, Julen is sorted.
Hi again. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen much of Sevilla lately or the last couple of years, but Wolves have been lacking severely in the final third. Do you think that's something he's going to be working on straight away?
I imagine that he will mention zero about new players or anything like that. He's got to check what he has. He will certainly try to improve what he has. But I'm pretty sure that there will be at some point, and January is very close, there will be an improvement on that. But it's not so much about somebody that can score 30 goals. Is it possible to actually organize the attack better? Football has gone from organized defense, where the Atletico Madrid of 2014, for instance, through the Barcelona influence to organize attack. And that's something that he's done at Sevilla very well. So it's not just get the ball to the wings and put a cross in, or get Ruben to just shoot from outside the box. There will be, and that requires training, that requires work, of course, but it will be an organized attack. Only the modern sides do that, and not everybody does that. You have it at City, you have it at Liverpool, you have it at Chelsea. But he will try to do that, because I feel that sometimes that's a side that's abandoned, ignoring the trends of football. If you it's very easy now to put a defense that's structured and well organized. It's much harder to actually attack that. But he has done that with Sevilla with not a lot of talent, and you see what he's done until it all collapsed a little bit in the last few months.
We saw some reports, I don't know how true they are, Guillaume, you'll know better than I, that he'd already spoken to a couple of players that perhaps he knew, maybe Ruben was one. Adama Traore would be another that a lot of fans would point to, obviously the obvious Spanish link, but also Adama's contract situation and how he might choose to use him. And I look towards the Sevilla team that we played against in the Europa League a couple of seasons ago, and the use of Jesus Navas as a fullback, and suddenly the excitement about where he might utilise that threat that Adama Traore has, if indeed he chooses to use him, or because there's a lot of other forward players at the club.
Let's imagine for a second that he goes for 4-3-3, and I think you have the players for it. I don't see him as a fullback at all. Navas is a strange case of somebody who can do both things, defending and attacking very well. He's got a very good timing with crosses, etc. I think for Traore, his magic is to create the conditions in which he can be 1v1 with the defender and trying to beat him. And for instance, with Spain, that worked really, really well until all the players have been doing that better than him, like Nico Williams of Athletic Club and Sarabia maybe of PSG. But that ability of beating defenders and beating 1v1s, there's not many around that have it. So I imagine that he will not only win him, but keep him for a long time. It is a role that is difficult, because if you're not inspired, if you don't have the confidence of your coach, if the fans have a go at you because you tried it 10 times and you only beat the defender once, forgetting that that's the hardest thing in football. Try to beat a defender these days. It's just the hardest thing, no matter what your pace is. But if you create the conditions for him to exploit that, you've got an asset there. There's no doubt about it. But, and as I say, in a 4-3-3 formation, you do need wingers that can come inside, and I think Adama can do that. But certainly wait outside and wait for the ball to get to them, and then try to beat those defenders. So those are things with pace, which is so important. Those are things that I'm sure he will appreciate.
Guillaume, just one final question, because I know you're a very busy man. You actually have to go and do your day job in a moment. Just on the break that he's had, because obviously this has been, 6 years in the making, but certainly 2 months or so in the making. How important do you think having had that ability to rest and recover after his severe experience will be to Julen?
I think he should have rested longer because having seen what he does, honestly, he just gives absolutely everything. And I think if you look at the pictures of his last day at Sevilla and how he broke down and he looked drained. And I know that his coaching staff was drained as well because they were given so much. And at that point, that's when you lose more energy. The dynamics don't change, and they weren't changing. So some have recommended him, just wait until January, wait until the World Cup. But even though that's something that he contemplated, really waiting for longer, I think he will explain at some point, or maybe the club will, how insisting Wolves were, to a point where it's like, no. In fact, when he first said no to Wolves, having just left Sevilla, he went to a meeting with the idea of saying, no, do you want a bit of wine and should we talk about something else? Instead, an hour and a half later, he was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say no. But eventually he did. And I think he's thankful that he's done that to be close with his dad and so on. But I don't think Wolves were going to accept another no in the following weeks. And as soon as the door opened up a little bit and Carlos Bocero started the conversations after new calls from Wolves, he went like, okay, yeah, I can do this. I'm ready. I'm strong. And he asked the same questions to all his staff, and they said, we're ready. After, what is it? I don't know, a month and a half. I can't remember now when they left Sevilla, but they've been in Sevilla enjoying the sunshine. And I think it takes a month for everybody who is in football to say, yeah, this is nice, but where is the smell of grass? Where are the balls? Where are the sessions that we want to take?
Well, as you can see, my friend, there is not much sunshine here. I know you're going to come over and see us soon, so make sure you pack your warm weather stuff and your big coat, and we'll look forward to seeing you. Guillaume, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, and be excited. It'll be a great time.
Thank you, Guillaume. Good to see you, and hopefully see you soon. Guillaume Balaguer, the world-renowned Spanish football expert, European football expert. Delighted that he had time to speak to us on Matchday Live Extra today and try and get us excited. And I don't think there's much need to try and get us excited, because we are excited, but also just to give us that insight into the man that we are getting. We will talk more about Julen Lopetegui, and we'll talk about some of the impact he could have on some big players here after we look back at the highlights of the last game away at Brentford. Looking wide for Daniel Pedence. Pedence back in field on his right foot, ripping a cross in. Oh, Diego Costa got his head to it but couldn't keep it down. Daniel Pedence with a corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. Stands it up towards the edge of the box. Martinho on the volley, took a deflection, could have gone anywhere. It's another corner. Tony back to Damsgaard, wide again for Mbumo. Looks to lift his cross in. Oh, it's in! Brentford have got themselves the lead. A nothing chance, really. Ball delivered into the penalty area. Here come Wolves with Bueno down the left-hand side. Trying to deliver a cross in. And it came off the head of Pinnock, comes through to Adama Traore, right-hand side of the box on the byline. Pulls it back to Semedo. Semedo infield. Neves to curl it. Brilliant hit! Wolves are back level. They were not behind for long.
Oh, what a finish.
Captain Marvel does it again. Ruben Neves at the same ground that he curled an effort into to win the game last season. Bueno's low ball in. Daniel Pedence left-hand side of the box, just crowded out really. Took a bit too much time, but he's tries to keep it down. Tries to flick it past David Raya and wins Wolves a corner. Here's Diego Costa up towards the edge of the penalty area. Costa on his left foot, striking low, and a good save by the goalkeeper. Martinho over the halfway line. Drills it into the path of Diego Costa. Adama Traore is up with him in support. So is Pedence. Costa might go it alone. Good save by Raya at the near post. Comes to Boubacar, who can't get his strike away. Neves to his right side to Martinho. Martinho to Guedes. Takes it on the turn. Out down the right hand side. Guedes pulling it back to Semedo. Semedo lifting across in. Costa's header, it's going to go wide of the far post. And Ben Mee went down in the build-up to that.
He's saying there wasn't much in it, but I think the referee will send him off here. Once he starts to come and have a look at these screens. There you go.
Bobby Medley. He's
go.
reaching for his pocket. It's a red card for Diego Costa. So no Diego Costa, that man on your screen, Gonzalo Guedes, comes into the starting lineup, but we're not expecting him to play through the middle. He's in for Adama Traore, who drops to be amongst the substitutes. Hee-Chan Hwang, we think, is going to play as the central forward today, with Diego Costa being suspended. No Mateus Nunes through injury. We saw him limp off early in the game at Brentford. It means João Moutinho comes into the starting lineup. So Jose Sarr in goal, Semedo, Collins, Kilman and Hugo Bueno. Then Ruben Neves holding in midfield, Boubacar Traore and João Moutinho. And then Guedes, Hwang and Daniel Pedence up top. Couple of interesting names on the bench you might spot there. 17-year-old Nathan Fraser, who's a striker from the under-21s, got his second goal of the season on Monday night in a good 3-0 win over Leicester, in which Harvey Griffiths, who's another name you can see there, and Connor Ronan got the other goals as well. So we've seen some players perform for the 21s like Hugo Bueno did and get their opportunities in amongst the first team squad. Let's get reaction from the boys to that lineup then. Adama Traore dropping out, Tomo, but Guedes has something to prove, I think, given what we've seen from him so far, but no better time with the new head coach in. He's another one that might see this as a real opportunity.
Well, exactly. So, look, and again, I'm sure that the coach is going to be watching every game now until he takes over. Next week or so? But look, so look, every player out there has got to go out and prove himself. We saw the Leicester game here. Leicester being clinical in that top third, and we struggled with 21 efforts. I think the goalkeeper only had one save to make, and it just shows you where we are lacking. I know Niall's touched on it earlier on about the new manager coming in and what's he going to do in that top third. It is so important again going in there. But look, he's got a chance, Guedes. So look, I'm surprised Traore isn't starting because he's played reasonably well for us as well. He's been a threat in the sides. But again, so look, he's decided Davis to make a change to bring Guedes back in. But look, say possibilities and options on the bench there for him to come on. So look, and we know that he can be a big impact player for us.
How much do we think, Nails, that is a reaction almost to not having an out-and-out main number 9 type striker, that Adama Traore is going to be crossing the ball not really to the kind of play that you normally would? So if you're going to have Hee-Chan Hwang, you may as well have Guedes and Pedence play slightly differently and go with it as more of an all-round front three rather than the wide players crossing to a target man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I understand that, but at the same time, I think Traore is such a danger. It's a bit sad to see him left out, I'll be honest, because I thought he was getting a head of steam up in recent games. I thought he was coming back. He was getting back to some sort of fitness. And for me, I would have stuck him up top. That's what I would have done. I just would have stuck him up top and just caused problems.
Yeah, I think the quality of Damaru we're playing, because I say, we've not got real height up there with Pedence as well in the attacking options. And you're looking at their two centre-halves, Webster and Dunk, who are massive in the air for them, and they're going to be a threat on the other end of the pitch as well in set plays. So maybe he's looked at that thinking, hang on a minute, so like, we've gone for a bit more pace down that central area, and he probably thinks that Wang can play better down that middle than Traore. So that's probably the reason why he's gone for it. So, but look, as you touched on there, he's got a lot to prove, Guedes. I think that he's got to come into here and he's got to start showing what he can do. So, look, he's come as a player here, and we all thought this is going to be a great player. He's faded a little bit in the way that he's played, but he's got an opportunity today. The manager's put him in to start, so there's a chance for him to play here. But this will be a tough game against Brighton today.
Yeah, 12th appearance for Gonzalo Guedes, yet to get a goal. I mean, look, you've both played with out-and-out goal scorers, strikers, forwards who just need something to go for them, and then they can look completely different players. And maybe we're in that situation with Guedes, are we, Nails, where he just needs something to fall for him. And then because we saw in his early performances that he was direct, he was more dynamic, and And maybe that's just what we're waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not easy moving countries, moving clubs, playing a different way. It's very intense, the Premier League, and maybe he was just running off the adrenaline of being in a club so soon in those first few games, where I thought you're seeing glimpses of what he can do. However, that faded away, and he's got a chance. I don't know if the new managers had any influence in that decision. It'd be interesting, but yeah, I mean, it'd be good to see him getting back to some sort of form, because he's definitely got quality.
Yeah, and I just think as well, so look, we all talk about confidence in players, and that's one thing that I think that he struggled with. Is like earlier on when he come, he would have a goal earlier on, but now with that confidence gone, with the way that results have gone, he has struggled in front of goal, and he has struggled to create opportunities in that top third. And I just think maybe, as Naz just touched on there, a new manager coming in might have something to do with it, but he's got to go out there and prove it now that he can actually perform at this level.
Quick word, Nails, on Nathan Fraser, young boy, local boy. It would mean a huge amount to him if he got an opportunity. If you just need someone to go on there and give 1,000,000%, that's Nathan Fraser, right?
Yeah, and do you know what? He puts himself about as well, so he would have given those two defenders, a bit of a shake-up. Yeah, I mean, look, if he gets on in, he gets a chance. People will see what he's about, and what a good experience it would be for him.
Yeah, we will wait and see how this match develops. We'll get the boys' predictions and thoughts. I know somebody on the YouTube chat has already predicted Tomo to score the winner. Although I have to point out, Simon says, surely of all people, Tomo should be doing Movember. Hopefully that moustache is coming. We will see. We will see. Listen, it's a new dawn, Tomo. We've got a new head coach.
Bring it back.
We're looking forwards, but it's time.
I don't want to scare the kids, mate. That's
Yeah, Halloween has been and gone. We will get the boys' predictions in a second after we've looked back on the last time we beat Brighton here at Molineux.
And it was a powerful header, and it's headed in. And just like that, the set piece works wonders again for Brighton. It's Lewis Dunk, the captain. Here's Fabio Silva now. Then Fabio Silva was surely dragged back, and that could be
He's off.
a red card. It is. The Brighton captain is sent off. Lewis Dunk has gone.
Got to go.
Gibbs White. Wide to Ait-Nouri on the left-hand side. Being shown back in field here, Ryan Ait-Nouri. Finding Vitinha. In towards Adama Traore. Traore in towards the edge of the box. Knee play! Oh, brilliant goal! Adama Traore gets Wolves level. That's superb football. Some of the best Wolves have produced all game. Lovely neat interplay inside the penalty area. And Adama Traore found his way through. Wolves 1, Brighton 1. Gibbs White tracking with him. Wide out against that Ryan side, and Williams shows they're putting pressure on, and the ball played back towards Traore, and the goalkeeper came out, and Traore didn't know where it was, and he's got to the loose ball now. He needs support to arrive. It's back to Gibbs White, who hits it over the top. Oh my word, what a chance. Hoover for Traore, infield to Jean Moutinho. Jean Moutinho now finding Gibbs White. Back to Den Donker, 30 yards from goal, out to the left-hand side to Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri trying to dribble against Moda, gets past him, low cross, deflects towards Gibbs White, gets over the second chance! Yes. Morgan Gibbs White finds the top corner. It's a special moment for him, and it could be a match-winning one at Molineux. Wolves 2, Brighton 1. He missed a big opportunity a few moments ago. He would not miss this one. Morgan Gibbs White with his first league goal may well have just won the game. Wolves 2, Brighton 1. What entertainment at the end of the season.
The Molineux Sleepout is back for 2022. On Friday, the 18th of November, you can join the Wolves Foundation for a night sleeping rough here in the Stan Colour Stand. we've teamed up with local charity The Good Shepherd, raising funds to help tackle homelessness and food poverty in the city.
As a Wolves Foundation ambassador, I'm proud to see the difference our projects make to local people. The Sleepout provides vital funds for those in need across Wolverhampton.
As an ambassador for the Good Shepherd, I know our services are massive for the disadvantaged in our community. The Sleepout will help fund our activities as we continue to create sustainable ways out of poverty.
You can get your tickets via the Wolves ticketing page, but if you can't join us on the night, you can still support the event by going to the Molyneux Sleepout Just Giving page.
Let's all come together and make a difference in our city. We are one pack.
Good luck to those doing the Molyneux Sleepout. And I know Tomo appreciated seeing his good friend Bully there getting passionate on the field of play once more. Who's going to be the goal scorer? Who's going to be the hero? Who's going to stand out for you today, Tomo?
Well, I'm hoping that he's going to be influential up front. Wang, he's got an opportunity to go out there. So I know he's been on the bench recently. So he's got an opportunity. And a new manager coming in. I thought Pedence played well last week as well. At Brentford. So just need to get that quality of ball up to the strikers. That's going to be the difficult bit today, making sure the quality up to them, because there's no point hitting it high. So for me, Wang and Pedence, I think, will come together today, and I'm hoping that they can cause Brighton problems up front.
Presume you're going 2-1 as usual?
I'll go 2-1.
Nails, what are you thinking?
I think it's going to be a tough game. It's a tough.
Without doubt, mate, it's going to be tough.
It's going to. It's going to be a really tough game. Hopefully, there's going to be goals for Wolves. I'm going 3-1.
3-1. Love that. Love that.
1-0, Mikey?
No, let's go 2-0. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Why not? By the way, let me just...
I'll tell you what, he even threw his pen to the floor. Then,
I did.
So
I did. I'm feeling good. We've got a new head coach.
That's a new Mikey.
He has.
We've had to wait 6 years for him, but he's here, and we're going to go for it. And Wolves are reborn. Who knows? Andy says, bring back the Tomo Tash, by the way. I love the fact that we've had almost more messages about Tomo's Tash than we have about
you always kick-started, don't you? You always kick-started off, don't you? Just a little message here and there.
Right, the three of us are going to be on the radio commentary for you at wolves.co.uk and via the Wolves app as well. Join us there in a couple of minutes' time. But after yet another goal last week to add to an incredible collection, we thought we'd leave you this week to build you up towards kick-off with some of the best from Ruben Neves.
Backwards to Neves. Neves lining up a shot from Disato! Oh, Ruben Neves! Goodness me! What a super hit from Ruben Neves, who opens his account in English football in sensational style. Wolves have taken just 6 minutes to get going here in the K-Com. It's 0-0. Wolves 1. Delivered in, it couldn't quite find volley. Might sit for Neves to strike it on! Brilliant! That is absolutely brilliant from Ruben Neves. What a hit! From more than 20 yards out, he's just caressed it into the bottom corner. Didn't need to smash it, knew exactly what he was doing. And Wolves get themselves the lead at Hillsborough. It's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Wolves 1. Here comes Neves over the top of the wall! Ruben Neves with an absolute stunner! What a free kick! What a goal by a simply sensational footballer! Wolves 1, Brentford 0. It's going to come back towards Neves to Carwan. Oh! That is unbelievable! What a sensational hit from a sensational footballer! Oh, goodness me! Here comes Neves, step up right footed, better side! Oh! Oh, you beauty! Ruben Neves with an absolute stunner! Another
classic for the incredible collection of Wolves' Portuguese superstar. It's Cardiff 0, Wolves 1, first blood to the Wolfpack.
The edge of the 6-yard box, it was just over the top of volley, comes out to Neves, flicks it up, it's on the volley! Oh! Oh, Ruben Neves! Ruben Neves with one of the greatest goals you will ever see! That is simply stunning, sensational, wonderful, incredible. There are no words to describe what Ruben Neves has just done.
Here comes Neves with a right-footed free kick. Yes! Ruben Neves! Ruben Neves! Ruben Neves! He lights up Molineux with a stunning curling free kick into the top corner. It's game on in the Premier League. Wolves 1, Everton 1. Neves is up and running in the Premier League.
Caballero making a run down the line, goes back in field to Neves. Neves will line up a shot from distance. Oh, goodness me! Ruben Neves with another classic to add to his ever-growing collection. Fires in from distance into the bottom corner to restore Wolves' advantage on FA Cup third round night at Molineux. Boy, we've had to wait for another Neves screamer, but it was well worth it. Wolves 2, Liverpool 1. Couple of short steps up to strike it over the wall! Ruben Neves! What a goal from a sensational football player! That is well worth the wait. What a beauty! Wolves 1, Arsenal 0. Jota's made the run short. He'll stand it back to João Moutinho, fizzing it low to the edge of the box. Neves takes 2 touches. Oh my word! Oh, you are kidding me! Ruben Neves has just curled one into the top corner from the edge of the penalty area. The Portuguese maestro conducts another masterpiece. Moutinho pulling it back. Ruben Neves to strike it! Ruben Neves! Ruben Neves! Ruben Neves with an unbelievable hit! It's lift-off at Molineux! And the man who only ever scores special goals has done it again on Derby Day! It's Wolves 1, Villa 0! Now delivering a lovely cross just too high for Jimenez. Headed away by Gomez. Neves brings it down on the volley. Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal into the far corner to double Wolves' advantage on the night. And in the tie, the man who only scores special goals has added another incredible strike to his ever-increasing collection. It's another that you will want to see again and again and again.
See, the law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see, out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, balls in my heart, my city on the map. I was in the field, you're sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, wreck till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down on the ground, now I'm up for the fight. Seaside at the dark, now it's into the light. Alpha mode, down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Doing dirt when my crap stay clean. Send for me, rude boy, how you mean? Look at my jump with the verses. Clean sheet in him and I'm on a verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the verses. Death match in your family in verses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and